Hi, welcome to Advanced English with Steve UK, and I'm Steve. Now, if you want to achieve C1, Advanced or C2 proficiency, you need vocabulary. It's more important when you're taking the exams than grammar actually is. So you need vocabulary, you need to know lexis. That's a wider term, including lexical chunks. But there's also an emphasis on individual words. And that's what this video is about. Nouns, verbs, adjectives at a high level. Most of them that you're going to see here are very high-level words. They're proficiency, but many of them are also useful for Cambridge C1 as well. So you've got a combination. Now, in fact, this is two videos combining into one. There's part one, which I produced before. Now I've done part two. So in total, there are 150 different words. In actual fact, they're more than that because some of them are nouns and verbs. But there are 150 different sections, if you like. Okay, I've got another 150 to produce. So in total, by the time I've finished, there'll be 300 words, which is quite a lot. Okay, so yeah, two parts, part one and part two, combined together. Please ensure you subscribe, and I'd love to see any comments and any questions. If you subscribe, then of course you'll be reminded to watch the future videos. I do hope that these videos, this knowledge, proves useful for you. Okay, I won't say any more. Let's go. Abate, verb. To become less active, less intense, or less in amount. As I began my speech, my feelings of nervousness quickly abated. Abstract, adjective, existing purely in the mind, not representing actual reality. Julie had trouble understanding the appeal of the abstract painting. Abysmal, adjective, extremely bad. I got an abysmal grade on my research paper. Accordingly. Adverb, in accordance with. The school rules are clear. All students must behave accordingly. The group rules are clear. All students must behave accordingly. Acquisition. Verb, to make suit a new purpose. Noun, the act of gaining a skill or possession of something. Language acquisition is easier for kids than it is for adults. Adapt. Verb, to accommodate oneself to a new condition, setting, or situation. The US has adapted many foreign foods to better suit the tastes of Americans. Dogs are known for their ability to quickly adapt to their environments. Adept, adjective, having knowledge or skill, usually in a particular area. Beth loves playing the piano, but she is especially adept at the violin. Adequate. Adjective, having sufficient qualifications to meet a specific task or purpose. Though his resume was adequate, the company doubted whether he'd be a good fit. Advent, the arrival or creation of something, usually historic. The world has never been the same since the advent of the light bulb. Adversarial. Adjective, relating to hostile opposition. An adversarial attitude will make you many enemies in life. Advocate. Noun, someone who promotes or defends something. Verb, to defend or promote something. I am an advocate for free higher education. Environmental protesters advocate for cleaner energy practices. Aesthetic. Adjective, relating to beauty or refined taste. The aesthetic decorations at the wedding reception made you feel as if you were a character in a fairy tale. Afford. Verb, to be able to buy, also to be able to spare. He's saving money so he can afford to buy a new car. I can't afford to lose any more pencils. Agitate. Verb, to promote something, usually a cause. They're agitating for better health care. Allow. Verb, to permit or consent to. Truly democratic countries allow citizens to speak freely. Allude. To make a secretive mention of something. She alluded to the problem at hand, but didn't say anything more about it. Altercation. Noun, a noisy argument or confrontation. Greg got into an altercation with a stranger at the bar. Ambiguous. Adjective, unclear or vague in meaning. Her ambiguous statement made me question whether she could be trusted. Ambitious, adjective, having a powerful desire for success or achievement. Penny is so ambitious, she wants to be a government minister someday. Ambivalence, the state of being uncertain or stuck between two or more options. His ambivalence prevented him from immediately signing the contract. Analogous, adjective, similar but not identical. Green onions are considered analogous to spring onions. Crocodiles are considered analogous to alligators. Annihilate, verb, to destroy or cause devastating destruction. The dictator sent orders to annihilate the group of rebels. The residents of Pompeii were annihilated by the volcano. Anomaly, noun, something different from the norm. He reassured everyone that this result is an anomaly and very rarely happens. Anticipate, verb, assumed to be likely to happen. The party was just as fun as I had anticipated it would be. Antipathy, a strong feeling of dislike. Her antipathy towards the professor was obvious. She rolled her eyes whenever he entered the classroom. Apex, the highest point of something. The spring play was the apex of our school year. Apprehension, noun, fearful expectation of something. Her apprehension about taking the exam resulted in her being physically sick. Articulate, verb, to clearly express in words. She articulated her opinion on his controversial views, suggesting that they were disgusting. Artificial, adjective, something made, not occurring naturally. Many sweets use artificial flavours to make them taste fruity. assertion, a strong declaration. His assertion that sharks are mammals made everyone laugh. Austere, adjective, can mean extremely plain, stern and forbidding, relating to self-denial. He lived in a small austere cabin in the middle of the woods. My boss had an austere expression on her face. An austere lifestyle like that of monks isn't for everybody. Authenticity, noun, the quality of being real and true instead of fake and contrived. The police officer doubted the authenticity of the suspect's story. Avenue, noun, an intangible path or approach to something. The company has decided to pursue other avenues. Avid, adjective, actively interested in or enthusiastic about something. Gerald is an avid football fan. Basic, adjective, relating to the foundation or basis of something. You have to start with basic English before you can move on to a level when you can have a fluent conversation. Bear, verb, to have as a characteristic, to have a child, to bring forth, to put up with. She bears a strong resemblance to your mother. Judy will bear her first child later this year. My garden is going to bear courgettes this year. I can't bear her complaining any longer. Counter-argument, a noun. An argument used to criticize or dismantle another argument. Make sure to include a counter-argument in your essay so that you can show you've considered the topic from all perspectives. Counterproductive, adjective, hindering the achievement of a goal. Bill's idea to take a shortcut was ultimately counterproductive. It took us twice as long to get to the train station. Culmination, a noun, the final act or climax. The culmination of the performance was unforgettable. Cultivate, verb, to foster the growth of. Teachers don't just pass on new information to students, they cultivate their academic potential. Decree, to declare formally and with authority. the President decreed that the birth of his son would henceforth be a national holiday. Deference. Noun, respect or regard. Her deference to the elderly makes her the perfect candidate for an internship at the retirement centre. Deficient. Adjective. Not enough in degree or amount. I feel the sources of my paper are deficient. Demonstrate. Verb, to do as an example. Another meaning, gives evidence for. Could you demonstrate the dance move for me? This book's use of words such as grim and bleak demonstrates the author's mournful tone. Deplete. To use over time or to overuse over time. The lost campers quickly depleted their supply of food. Desolate. Adjective, bare, barren or empty. The moon is one giant desolate landscape. Devise. To come up with a plan. Lana devised a plan to make herself famous. Diligence, conscientiousness, the quality of being committed to a task. Diligence and confidence will get you far in life. Diminish, to become smaller in scope or degree. The itchiness of mosquito bites usually starts to diminish after a few days. Dire. Adjective, hopeless and dangerous or fearful. When the police didn't explain what was happening right away, Jane knew that the situation must be dire. Discord. Noun, disagreement. Disputes over money caused intense discord in the family. Disdain. Noun, a lack of respect and strong dislike towards something or someone. He looked at me with such disdain that I immediately knew the job wouldn't work out. Dismay. The noun, hopelessness, stress or consternation. Verb, to fill with woe or apprehension. To Nick's dismay, he got an F in the test. Many were dismayed by the town's implementation of metered parking. Disparage, to belittle or speak down to. A good boss is stern, but never disparages his or her employees. Dispatch. To send off a message or messenger. The mother dispatched her daughter to their neighbour's house. Diversification. The act of becoming diverse. Lately, there's been noticeable diversification of students at higher institutions. Doctrine. A principle, theory or position, usually advocated by a religion or government. Devoutly religious people often live their lives according to their doctrines. Dominion. Power and authority, usually over a territory. It can also mean a legal territory. The country claimed to have dominion over its neighbour. Puerto Rico is a dominion of the US. Dreary. Adjective, sad, gloomy or dull. The grey clouds in the sky made the day feel dreary. The word dreary even sounds dreary, doesn't it? Dubious. Doubtful, questionable. The man's claims to the throne were dubious since nobody knew where he'd come from. Eccentric. Adjective, peculiar or odd, deviating from the norm. She's a little eccentric, but still fun to be around. Egregious. Adjective, extremely bad. After cheating on the exam, Emily began to feel as though she'd made an egregious mistake. Eloquent. Having refined or expressive communication skills in speaking or in writing. His speech was not only eloquent, but also extremely compelling. Eminent. Superior or distinguished, high in position or status. Our town made news when the eminent magician came to perform at our local theatre. Emit. To discharge, give forth or release. Plants consume carbon dioxide and emit oxygen. Empirical. Derived from experience, observation or an experiment. You need empirical evidence to support your claim. Endow. To equip or bestow, usually a quality or ability. According to the myth, the gods endowed him with the gift of healing. Endure, to withstand, sustain, or hold out against. I can't endure the wait any longer. Will Stanford accept or reject me? Entail, to involve or include. A doctoral program entails long nights and a heavy workload. Entrenched, firmly established. The image will forever be entrenched in my memory. Enumerate, to specify or count. I can't enumerate how many times I've had to remind my students when their papers are due. Envy, excessive jealousy, as a verb to admire and be jealous of. His envy of her is obvious. She envies her co-workers' social skills. Erratic, having no fixed course, deviating from the norm. His erratic behaviour caused great concern to his family and friends. Established, to enact or to found a business, group, school, and so on. They established a law that made it illegal to drive after drinking any amount of alcohol. Our group established a new branch in Manchester. Evoke, to draw forth or call up. I can't watch horror movies. They evoke too much fear in me. Exacerbate, to make worse or increase the severity of. The doctor told me not to run as it can exacerbate my knee injury. Excel, to do something extremely well or to be superior in. She was a well-rounded student, but excelled especially in science. Exert, to put into use, usually as effort. Don't exert all of your energy at once. Exhilarating, invigorating, stimulating, or exciting. The music playing at the club was catchy and exhilarating. Expend, to use up, as in energy or money. Be careful not to expend all your energy in the first half of the marathon. Exploit, to use selfishly or for profit. The shoddy company exploited its workers by paying them extremely low wages. Facilitate, to aid the progress of. I recommend the course. The instructors facilitate students' research and offer constructive criticism. Feasibility, the practicality or possibility of something. The feasibility of her project was doubtful. She'd have to go all the way to Antarctica and back before the school ended. Ferocity, viciousness, violence. The lion is just one wild animal known for its ferocity. Fiscal, adjective related to money, usually government money. Fiscal policy is how the government uses money to influence the economy. Flourish, to prosper, grow, or make fast progress. After 1 year, the tiny plants had flourished into a breathtaking garden. Fluctuate, to be unstable, to rise and fall. Stocks can fluctuate daily, making it difficult to determine when to buy or sell one. Foment, to stir up. The civilians accused their leader of fomenting political unrest. Foreseeable, capable of being predicted or anticipated. I can't imagine aliens visiting us in the foreseeable future. Frankly, directly or clearly. I frankly don't see the point in learning to drive. Freewheeling, adjective carefree. His freewheeling attitude often got him into trouble at work. Fundamental, the most essential or most basic part. A thesis is arguably the most fundamental part of an university degree. A thesis is arguably the most fundamental part of a university degree. Galvanizing, thrilling, exciting, stimulating. The galvanizing performance left everyone spellbound. Geriatric, relating to old age. I became interested in geriatric medicine shortly after my grandfather passed away from cancer. Hostile, harmful, dangerous. The voices round the corner sounded angry, hostile even. Hypothetical, adjectives supposed related to a hypothesis. For my physics homework, I must come up with a hypothetical situation. Impart, to transmit, bestow or disclose. Parents must impart common sense to their children. Impartiality, the equal and objective treatment of opposing views. To ensure impartiality, we require everyone to follow these general guidelines. Imposition, noun, an unnecessary burden. If it's not too much of an imposition, could you proofread my paper? Incite, to encourage or stir up. Her hateful words incited anger in the crowd. Indifference, apathy, emotional detachment. The girl's indifference towards her brother upset their parents. Indiscriminate, randomly, with little or no distinction. Lottery winners are chosen indiscriminately. Indulge, to give into, to satisfy or gratify. My friend loves to indulge in cheesy romance movies. Infer, to guess, conclude or derive by reasoning. You can infer from this quotation that the writer didn't care for pretty language. Innovative, novel or new, especially as an idea or invention. Her invention was incredibly innovative and won her multiple awards. Insatiable, adjective, can't be insatiable, adjective, can't be satisfied. A vampire's thirst for blood is said to be insatiable. Inversion, reversal. The cultural norms were an inversion of our own. Invoke, to call on, to appeal to a higher power. The shaman attempted to invoke a demon. Irreconcilable, incapable of being in harmony or agreed upon. Irreconcilable, incapable of being in harmony or agreed upon. The couple's differences were ultimately irreconcilable, giving them no choice but to break up. Lament, to feel sorry for, to mourn. Susan lamented her mischance of going to Europe with her high school class. Locomotion. Movement. Physics includes the study of locomotion. Lucrative. Adjective. Capable of making a lot of money. Profitable. Writing books isn't a particularly lucrative career, unless you're J.K. Rowling. Right, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it rewarding and useful. There's quite a lot to take in, isn't there? So maybe it's a good idea to watch again, make your own notes. I'd suggest that you also supplement what you're seeing here with a dictionary. Cambridge Advanced tends to be the best one. But look for other examples as well. I haven't had time to produce many examples, but there are many situations, different contexts in which you can use these words. And if you're intending to take C1 or C2, especially the proficiency exam, then you need to know the different contexts, the different situations in which you might use them, because I've provided perhaps one or two different contexts, but there could be others. Okay, so they're not narrowly used, they're more widely used. So do your own research, and of course read, and watch whatever you can. See them being used. Okay, good luck. I shall say goodbye for now, and see you later. Bye.